Find a brand that is testing products. They sell to professionals. They are super big on chemistry and what's happening. That's why it's so important to use a professional brand. Find a professional brand that tests products that you believe in. Keep testing products, test them on yourselves, because you don't want to be responsible for causing your client to have an adverse chemical reaction. If you're new here, my name is Cameron. I'm a licensed esthetician and licensed beauty instructor located in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm also the owner of Lash Queen Beauty Company, lash and aesthetics retailer. I wanted to jump on my channel and talk about brow lamination chemistry and hopefully explain it to you guys in a way that is more understandable so that you can apply it to your application for your clients. Brow lamination is the process of relaxing, so it is just like a perm for the hair. It's a perm for the brows or the lash line, and so the systems are the same. They have the same 1, 2, 3 step processes. One of the major differences between lash lifting systems and brow lifting that I like to look for as a supplier and a service provider to be safe on the skin, because we are applying chemicals to the brow hairs, you're also applying it to the skin. So you want the solutions to be safe for both hair and skin. So when it comes to lash lifting, I don't really look too deeply at the system for the skin portion because it's not going on the skin. For brow lamination, absolutely, you want to make sure that you are finding a system that works for the brow hairs and the skin. 2 systems that I would recommend if you are interested in getting into brow lamination, well, I'm gonna change them, I actually say 3, and the good thing is we do carry all 3 of these systems at Lash Queen Beauty Co, and you can use today's code of Brow Boss for 10% off of any brow products. Brands that I like to recommend, one is me, Ruthie Bell. So I love to recommend Ruthie Bell because she has a mechanism where there's no chance of over processing the brow or lash hairs. So after about 8 minutes, her system completely stops, so there's no chance of you potentially cooking someone's brows or lashes. Whereas Supercilium and Thuya, I do love those brands. I would recommend them for more advanced beauty professionals, intermediate to advanced, because you definitely want to watch the application time. Those sorts of systems, because they work rapidly and they are excruciatingly strong. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on those systems, whether you're using it for brows or lashes. But all of those are really good brands for professional beauty salon services if you're interested in offering lash lifting or brow lamination. Key information that you need to know if you're going to be offering brow or lash lifting lamination services. As beauty professionals, it is our responsibility to make sure that we are doing the research behind the products that we are using for our clients, and that is why I take it so seriously for all of the customers that shop with us at Lash Queen Beauty Co. We like to work with brands that are doing the work. They are testing the products, constantly in the lab about these products. Those are brands that I like to bring into Lash Queen because I can trust them. So I have a couple of notes that I really wanted to touch on for brow lamination and lash lifting as well. Okay, first thing is the definition. So brow lamination is the process of perming or relaxing the brow hairs to make the brows appear more fuller without the use of dye. Now you do have the option to add on hybrid dyes. I'm going to talk about that a little bit here in the next segment, but that's all we're doing. We are making them to appear more fuller. Same thing applies for lash lifting. When you're lash lifting, you are making the lashes appear more fuller by lifting them up higher on their lash line so that they're more noticeable. So it's the same thing with brow lamination. Our goal is to make them fuller. So if you have clients who already have big brows, brow lamination might not be the best option for them because their brows are already big, if that makes sense. If their brows are already full, a brow lamination is going to make them fuller. It's going to really add in some definition and length because we are relaxing those brow hairs. So I would really only recommend this to clients who want a fuller brow, but they don't want to fill them in the morning. They want a fuller natural brow. Those are the type of clients that you want to recommend brow lamination for. Next note, if you are going to be using dyes in your brow lamination, I would highly suggest using a hybrid dye. You don't want to use any henna dyes. I'll edit a couple of pictures of henna dyes in this video. Henna dyes are going to disrupt the lamination because henna is a vegan plant-based formula. So when that interacts with the brow lamination chemicals, it can cause a huge chemical reaction on your client's eyebrow areas. It can make their brows appear to be super inflamed, coarse, and it can actually cause their brow hairs to completely fall off. So henna and brow lamination does not go together at all. If you want to offer dye with your brow lamination, you should do a hybrid dye. I have a couple of examples here that I'll insert, but you want to use a hybrid dye that is not plant-based like henna. All brow lamination and lash lifting systems are not created and formulated the same. If you did not learn this in beauty school, take heed to it now, that there is a clear difference between consumer grade products that you might see on Amazon and professional grade products like Super Slim, Thuya, professional quality brands. Not like skincare either, where you could potentially see results with products like Ulta, like over-the-counter products. It's not like that. Lamination and lash lifting products are chemical products, so they are formulated and tested completely different than skincare, and beauty professionals should really pay attention to the brands and the ingredients that our systems are using. And so I want to share with you some of the main ingredients that you should be looking for if you intend to offer brow lamination or lash lifting services. Are looking for a couple of different ingredients that I want you to learn. So the first one being thioglycates. It originates from ammonia and it can be damaging and drying when exposed to in long term. This is important because a lot of your Amazon lash lifting consumer brands have thioglycate as their first ingredient, and I'm not even going to lie and say that all consumer brands have that. There are some professional brands who have that as well, so that's why it's important to actually know the ingredients that you're talking about. Thioglycate is damaging and drying to your client's hair, lashes over time. So when you have a lash lifting or a brow lamination system that the main ingredient is thioglycate, and we know this because it shows up very early on, that system that you're using over time is going to dry out your client's lashes or brows to the point where they're not going to be able to get this service anymore. And that's what you want to avoid, because we as professionals, we are responsible for the health of our clients' hair, lashes, nails, skin, whatever service that you're offering. It is our responsibility to make sure that we're using products that are safe and that are, you know, nourishing over time and not damaging. And so that is really why I wanted to make this video, because lamination products and lash lifting, all of these products are formulated the same. They are not. And so that's why it's important to know your ingredients. Instead of using a lash lifting or brow lamination system that has thioglycate, I would instead suggest that you use a system such as a cysteamine based system. And what's different is that cysteamine is a nourishing ingredient. So instead of damaging and drying like thioglycate, cysteamine is nourishing over time. Cysteamine based lifting solutions are much more gentle, and they actually have a lower pH, and they strengthen lashes over time instead of drying them out, unlike thioglycate. So while we're speaking about pH is so important. So if you did not pay attention to this chapter in beauty school, please go back and read. Open up that textbook and go back and read over chemistry. The way that pH relates to brow lamination and lash lifting systems is this: closer that a product is in pH to 9 is hair removal. A product that has a pH of 9 is like Nair. Once you apply it, it causes the hair to completely dissolve and fall off, right? And so our brow lamination products and lash lifting are using ingredients that are very similar to a Nair product. When you are testing out your brow lamination systems, I would highly suggest you do a pH strip test. And once you hit that pH of a 9, it's basically hair removal, you are going to be entering a really dangerous state in brow lamination and lash lifting, which we call overprocessing. That's what us beauty professionals call overprocessing, where you can potentially remove someone's lashes, brows, just like Nair would. So that's why it's so important to understand, one, what ingredients you're using, two, what is the pH of this product that I'm using, and to truly understand the pH scale. So again, just to reiterate, any products that are closer to 9 are going to be closer to hair removal and dissolving of the natural state. Anything closer to 7, that is more going to be on the more gentle side. And as we know, our pH for skin is about 5.5 to 6 anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5 depending on the individual. You want to use products that are not too close either, because they won't change anything about what we're doing, right? So if you use a product that has a pH of the same as our skin, it's probably not going to have that much of an effect. So that's why it's so important to understand the pH scale, because anywhere that's too close to the skin's pH is not going to have that much of an effect, and anywhere that is a potential of pH of like a 8.5 to a 9, you are starting to enter into hair removal, which is not what you want for brow lamination or lash lifting services. So the higher pH that a brow lamination or lash lifting system has, more potential it can cause damage to lashes or eyebrows. pHs of 7.5 to 8.0 are considered the safest range, ideal for fine or previously processed brows, whereas high alkaline ranges, which is a 9.0 and above, are generally considered unacceptable for professional services due to the significant risk of damage. So the services that we provide can cause irreversible damage to someone's skin, lashes, brows, or anything like that. That's why it's so important to know the ingredients, know what you're talking about, know the pH of your products, and actually understand on a chemical level what's happening to your client's brows, hair, lashes, or skin. I don't want to make this video super long just discussing on a chemical level what's happening to our clients, just because I feel like the aesthetics industry, sometimes we breeze over that. You know, we're so focused on the end goal that we're not paying attention to what's happening to our clients on a chemical level. And I think it's really important that we understand each step of a brow lamination service and what you are doing to that person's brows, lashes, or whatever. So the last thing I want to touch on is the difference between professional lifting brands versus your Amazon lifting brands. For starters, your professional lash lift brands are going to focus on quality control, manufacturer accountability, right? Training and support, ingredient quality, and resources. So your professional brands have done the work. Professional brands undergo more rigorous testing and quality control, resulting in more consistent and predictable results. So the manufacturer accountability. So professionals that use brands that stand behind their products. If something goes wrong, the manufacturer is accountable, unlike most Amazon products. So if you have an issue with a brow lamination system that you might have purchased, you can call Supercilium directly and ask them questions. A lot of times these vendor or these Amazon-based systems that I see professionals buy, a lot of those systems do not offer that support. They don't offer any quality control. The ingredients are heavy on thioglycate, like we talked about earlier in the video, and it's just the uncertainty from those brands. They have variable quality, so you could get a pretty good system, you could get a pretty bad system. It's hard to tell. There's also the issue of lack of accountability. It's challenging to hold the manufacturers of these Amazon brands accountable. If you have a question regarding your lash or brow lifting system, it's going to be challenging to hold the manufacturer accountable if anything is to occur with a client using their products. Then you also have the higher risk, right? Because these are not tested or regulated as safely as a professional lash lift brand is. And then lastly, the inconsistent results. Inconsistent application due to lack of experience can lead to subpar results in comparison to a professional brand. So as a licensed professional, I'm going to encourage that you shop with licensed professional lash and brow lifting brands. Please do not subject your clients to DIY or any systems that you might find on Amazon. I would highly suggest that you find a brand that you like. Maybe it's one of the ones that I mentioned in this video. If not, find a brand that is doing the work. Find a brand that is testing products. They sell to professionals. They are super big on chemistry and what's happening with their products. That's what you want to look for as a lash and brow specialist, because it's doing your clients a disservice if you buy, you know, off or white label kits on Amazon. It does them a huge disservice because they're paying professional prices and they are expecting us as the professionals to use professional grade products. Last thing that you want is to be doing a client and potentially they have an adverse reaction to whatever you're applying, and that become an issue because you can't reach out to the manufacturer to ask them questions or to just get answers about products that you are using. So that's why it's so important to use a professional brand. Find a professional brand that tests products that you believe in. Keep testing products, test them on yourselves, because you don't want to be responsible for causing your client to have an adverse chemical reaction to products that you have no idea, nothing any about the manufacturer. That's a huge red flag for you as a beauty professional and for your client. Learned something in this video. I tried to keep it short, simple, and sweet, but still effective. If you liked it, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I do think I'm going to be making this into a series, kind of like just beauty industry debunked, just stuff in the beauty industry that's not really talked about. I hope this helped. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.